conversation with somebody who's standing in this position? Just doesn't happen. This is my theory as of last week. This position is the first step out of that position. The normal way you stand, and this is the first step out just before the second step. It gets confusing if you start from here. Because you're starting in mid-count. Because nobody really does stand. Have you ever, really think back, would you have a conversation with somebody who's standing like this? No. Right? It just doesn't happen. I think, but for years, this is a natural position. It never happens. It can't be natural. So, but then think of that. So, you got to think then, how do you start your technique? And explaining to people why you would stand like this in the first place. And this is where the confusion comes, right? Which foot is forward? If you're standing like this, either your left or right foot comes forward, and that's where we start. Right? So anyway, as I walk in, there's this line where I'm too close, which is right about here, where we're engaged. If we're not shaking hands, we're either good friends or we're not. If the hand crosses that line first, deal with the hand. And a lot of times when Aikido people attack, the hand is already extended before they get to that line. So the hand crosses first, step back and address the hand at the distance of the hand. Step back. If they get closer than that, or you're doing a mote technique, you step in and address them at the distance of the body, and you don't deal with the hand. Does that make sense? Even like in Shoninji Ikkyo, right? In the mote, you're not really dealing with the hand. Did you see it, right? The hand's here. If you're approaching at the point in the body. Sorry. Excuse me. But if in Ura, they have the advantage, the hand has penetrated the line of attack, you deal with the depth of the hand. Does that make sense? It's something to think about, which I haven't given a lot of thought yet. But you look at different techniques. Which way, right? Are you fighting at body distance, or are you fighting at the distance of the weapon? Does that make sense? That's why one's kind of yielding. The person's already fired the weapon, you have to deal with the weapon. That's what up. But if he hasn't fired yet, you're dealing with his body. And if you've crossed the line of the hand, you go back and pick up the, don't be confused, right? You'll see people actually, they'll be doing a mote and they'll put their hand back here. Because they're trying to deal with the weapon when they're at the, and they end up with their hand, right? You've seen that, right? People, I have friends who do this, they think it's right, but they go like that. It's kind of crazy. But they're trying to address the technique of the hand when they should be thinking about you move your hand. Why? Because I'm moving going through your face. You see that? So you got to think about the distance too, and how you close it, and that has a lot to do with the timing. Can you read his intention soon enough to move, or do you miss it? But if you change your mind halfway, that's when you struggle. Does that make sense? It's the indecision that causes the struggle. If you made a decisive step back, it'd be fine. Or a decisive step with the other foot, you'd probably be fine. It's when you kind of shift your weight from one foot to the other, that's when you struggle with the technique. That's what. Right? In the beginning, you don't want to create too much confusion because people get hung up on thinking they're wrong all the time. A decisive step in any direction is better than not moving. That's just an idea. Where do I step? Decisively in some door. Pick your foot up and put it somewhere. Where? I don't care. If a car's coming at you, you don't think, should I jump to the left or jump to the right? Just jump. That's why I don't slide my feet anymore, because it makes people kind of question. Pick your foot up and put it down. Pick your foot up, put it down. It's like in some of the, I think it's the Thai boxers who have the dots they hang on the floor and they practice stepping from dot to, they don't slide from dot to dot. In sports, people slide their feet, like in fencing. But when it comes time to be decisive, they pick the foot up and they run. And kendo too, but the floor is always flat, and it gives you a sense of speed. But then, at some point, that's like for competition, kind of play, and then you don't. I don't think you can, right? In more martial stuff, you don't have time to play. You have to step, right? Because it's multiple people. Right? You can play with one person, right? But if you have to assume there are two, you have to be much more decisive. Because this could just be a distraction. You know, you start tensing like kind of like that. If they're doing that, it's probably because they're friends behind you. No, something to think of, right? Otherwise, basic technique doesn't make a lot of sense. If you assume there's one person, you would never tend on. It just doesn't happen. You don't need it. Two people you need it. If there's, it's for position. Does that make sense? One person just hitting it. But you need to know why your friends are leaving. That's right. Trouble starts. Hey, do I have any friends? Okay, move around a little bit. I'm just having fun. Hey, where's all my heroic friends? I went to another bar.